Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving deep into an absolute cornerstone text of modern manufacturing. We are exploring Taiichi Ohno, Toyota Production System Beyond Large-Scale Production. Part 2, The Pillars of JIT and Automation. Establishing a flow where parts arrive only when needed and machines stop automatically to prevent defects.
Welcome viewers to Bodhi Unified Flow. Here we simplify complexity and amplify performance. In this explainer, we're cutting straight through the noise and going right to the core of what makes the world's most resilient production systems tick. We'll be unpacking the profound, practical architecture of efficiency as laid out by Taiichi Ohno himself.
All right, here's our blueprint for today's session. First, we'll hit our agenda and learning objectives. Then, we dive into the elimination of waste. After that, we'll construct Pillar 1, just in time, followed by Pillar 2, automation. And finally, we'll bring it all together with synergy, a quick summary, and our references. Section 1. Agenda and Learning Objectives. Blueprint for Flow. Let's see what we're aiming for.
For all the operations managers and continuous improvement practitioners with us right now, here is exactly what you'll walk away with today. We're going to firmly grasp the absolute elimination of waste, master the underlying mechanics of just-in-time, truly understand automation, also known as Jidoka, and finally, learn how to apply that incredible synergy between continuous flow and flawless quality. Moving on to Section 2, the elimination of waste, exposing the rocks in the river. Okay, let's unpack a monumental shift in manufacturing philosophy. We are looking at the stark contrast between the traditional push method, the one championed by Henry Ford's mass production, and Taiichi Ohno's radical pull concept. In a standard push system, an earlier process just blindly forwards products based on a scheduled plan, right? It's completely regardless of whether the next step actually needs those parts right then. The result? Mountains of excess inventory. Ohno realized that the later process should instead pull from the earlier one. It should withdraw only the exact required quantities precisely at the exact time they are needed. It was a total game changer. And this brings us to a brilliantly simple focus from the text. When people asked what Toyota was actually doing to improve, Ohno essentially said, look, all we are doing is looking at a timeline. Step 1, the moment the customer gives us an order. Step 3, the point when we collect the cash. And Step 2, well, we are aggressively shrinking that timeline, strictly by removing non-value-added wastes. Notice, he didn't say it's about making machines run faster. It's about systematically eliminating the dead time and wasteful actions sitting between the order and the cash.
That brings us to Section 3, Pillar 1, just in time, the mechanics of flow. Now, what's truly fascinating here is where Ohno got his inspiration. It actually came directly from an American supermarket. Back in the 1950s, Ohno observed that in a supermarket, the customer, who essentially represents the later process, goes to the shelf, which acts as the earlier process. The customer withdraws only the items they need exactly when they need them. The supermarket then simply restocks exactly what was taken from that shelf. By reversing the traditional flow of information and applying the simple supermarket concept straight onto the factory floor, Ohno practically solved the problem of overproduction overnight.
But how on earth do these processes actually communicate this reverse flow? Well, the answer is Kanban. Kanban, which literally translates to signboard or tag, serves as the essential communication tool of the factory floor. Think of Kanban like the autonomic nervous system of the production line. Just as your body's autonomic nerves automatically regulate your heartbeat without you actively thinking about it, Kanban strictly controls the amount of production autonomously. It tells the earlier process exactly what to make and when, effectively and physically preventing overproduction from ever happening. Let's shift gears to Section 4, Pillar 2, Automation, Quality at the Source.
So thinking about all this automated flow raises a pretty critical question. What happens when a high-speed automated machine breaks a tool, or maybe a piece of scrap falls into it? Without human oversight, that automated machine doesn't know it's broken, does it? It's just going to keep running, blindly mass-producing tens or hundreds of highly defective parts at breakneck speed, creating a massive, costly mountain of scrap before anyone even notices. Simple, dumb automation, therefore, is actually quite dangerous if it completely lacks intelligence. It's honestly incredible how Toyota solved this. The breakthrough actually came from Toyota Sakichi, the founder of the Toyota Motor Company, who had invented an auto-activated loom over in the textile industry. His loom was designed to stop instantly if even a single thread broke. Ohno brought this brilliant concept over to the car factory as automation, or Jidoka, which translates to automation with a human touch.
It's the act of endowing our machines with enough human-like intelligence to distinguish between normal and abnormal conditions, allowing them to just stop autonomously the very second a defect occurs. And this intelligence is physically built right into the equipment using bakayoke, which means foolproofing. We're talking about physical, mechanical innovations that ensure a part literally won't even fit into a machine if there's been a working mistake. But here's the kicker. Jidoka isn't just for the machines. It applies directly to the people, too. Workers are empowered and, in fact, heavily required to push a stop button and halt the entire production line if they spot any abnormality. Combining these bakayoke devices with real worker empowerment builds 100% total quality right into the source of the process.
All right, Section 5. Synergy, Summary, and References. Winning the game. Let's put the roof on this house.
Taiichi Ohno perfectly summarized this synergy by comparing the factory to a baseball team. He noted, automation corresponds to the skill and talent of individual players, while just-in-time is the teamwork involved in reaching an agreed-upon objective. It's a beautiful analogy. Individual machine intelligence prevents errors locally, while factory-wide JIT teamwork ensures those materials flow perfectly to the final goal. Together, they create a truly unbeatable system.
Now, in our daily practice, the actual glue holding all this teamwork together is the standard worksheet. This is the visual control that harmonizes materials, workers, and machines using 3 very strict elements. First, you have cycle time, the specific time allotted to make one single piece based purely on market demand. Second, work sequence, the exact chronological order of operations a worker must follow. And third, standard inventory, the absolute bare minimum work in process needed to keep the operation running smoothly without generating waste.
So to quickly summarize the core architectural methodologies we've unpacked today, remember, the ultimate goal is shrinking that timeline from order to cash, strictly by eliminating non-value-added waste. This flow is achieved through Pillar 1, just in time, ensuring parts arrive only when needed via the pull method, which is constantly regulated by Kanban, our factory's autonomic nerve system. Finally, that flow is heavily protected using Pillar 2, Autonomation or Jidoka, giving machines that necessary human touch to stop automatically and prevent defects from ever moving downstream. Looking back at our goals, the text gave us a phenomenal roadmap. We've successfully demystified the illusion of efficiency found in push production. We explored exactly how the American supermarket inspired JIT mechanics. We understood the vital necessity of Jidoka and automation with a human touch. And we recognized how perfectly timed flow and zero-defect quality synergize together.
For those of you wanting to deepen your mastery, the insights from today's session are drawn directly from Taiichi Ohno's seminal book, Toyota Production System, Beyond Large-Scale Production, published by CRC Press, as well as those foundational concepts referenced from Henry Ford's Today and Tomorrow. I highly encourage you to grab these texts and further your own deep dive research. So, as you head back to your own facilities today, I want to leave you with one critical thought to reflect upon. Take a real hard look at your processes and ask yourself, are you just making your workflow move? Or are you truly lowering the water level to expose the rocks and eliminating the non-value-added waste hidden deep within it? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep pursuing absolute efficiency.